This session is on the Java program structure. So we are going to use Eclipse as our IDE. So we are going to look at like how in Eclipse the structure of program is organized. So in Eclipse, we have something called workspaces. Workspace is nothing but where you are going to store your Java projects. So you can create multiple workspaces in your Eclipse. Basically, if you want to maintain different group of projects in a particular workspace, you can do that by creating workspaces. It is nothing but a location where you are going to organize and store your projects. And as I said, you can have multiple projects in a workspace, and each Java project is going to contain multiple packages, and each package can contain multiple Java files, and each Java file can contain multiple classes, and each class can contain multiple methods. So we write methods inside class and classes inside the Java file, and Java file we can put it unorganized into a package, which is again a kind of a grouping, and we put those packages into a basically a project. And this is a sample project, and as you see here, Java Basic is the project name, which contains a source folder. Source is nothing but where we keep all our source files, I mean the Java files, and inside that you see like multiple packages. So com.java.tutorial.basic and java.tutorial.collections, those things are the packages, and each package is containing some Java files like hello-world.java, methods.demo.java, etc. If you come to the right side of the Eclipse, you have like the program which is having methods demo class. So as you see, the class name is methods demo, and the Java file name is methods demo.java. So in a class, I mean, if you have a Java file name as methods demo.java, there should be definitely a class which is a public class, and that should be having the same name as the Java file name. So that's a kind of a rule. And you can have, apart from this methods demo class, you can even have multiple classes, and they will not be a public class, but you can have lot more public classes maintained in the same Java file. In this example, I have just given only one class for this Java file, but you can write many classes inside a Java file. And as you see here, this public class is having many methods. So what are the methods? It is like main is a method name, become full stack Java developer is a method name, learn JavaScript is a method name. So these are basically the methods. So these methods are present inside the class. We will talk about what is methods, variables, and all these things in the coming sessions. But if you understand what is a method, it is basically a unit which is doing some function, some specific function on its own. So basically methods are all grouped into the methods are all organized into a class. You have many methods inside the class, and you can have many classes inside a Java file, and they can be put up into further grouped into or put up into packages, and these packages can reside in a Java project, and Java project of course is belonging to a workspace. Coming to the naming conventions, so Java programs are written entirely in lowercase letters with three exceptions. Like the class names, in the previous slide we saw the class names like hello world, methods demo, these are the class names. They will be usually written with starting with a capital letter. If the class name contains two words or more words, the second word will also be starting with a capital letter. If it is a variable, variable is again a kind of a placeholder to store a value, which we are going to learn in the next sessions. Or the method names, they will be starting with a small case letter. Again, if the method name is having two or more words in it, they will be capitalized. So it is going to follow kind of a camel case kind of structure. And constants, again, those values are not going to change, which we also cover in the further sessions. Just to make it readable, or on looking at it we will be able to know, okay, this is a method name, this is a class name, or this is a constant. We keep the constant fully in a capitalized format. So, and again, these are naming conventions, and it is not enforced by the Java compilers. So even if you don't follow these rules or these conventions, it is not going to impact. Um, Examples, as you see here, student is a example for a class name, or bank account where we have B and D as capital, If you see any method names, it's create account where C is small and A is capital. The same conventions goes for the variables as well, where it is account number where A is capital and A is small and N is capital. So that's about naming conventions. Let's move on to rules. Rules is something kind of enforced by the Java compiler. So you have to follow these rules. So the first one is Java file can contain one or more classes, but it should at least have one public class in it actually. So you cannot create a Java file without having a public class, and that public class, whatever you create, should match with the Java file name. Again, the first character in a Java file, the first character needs to be a Java letter. So whether it is for a variable methods or class names, whatever it is, it has to be a Java letter. What do you mean by Java letter? Is just it's a letter, or it can contain underscore, or it can contain dollar. But usually it's better to write with letters and not use underscore or dollar. Um, they are basically not recommended to have it in the class name or variable name or method names. So no special characters allowed apart from underscore and dollar for naming the identifiers. Here identifiers means classes, names, classes, methods, and variables. Um, Numbers are allowed, but it cannot be the first one as we said before. Next we move on to comments. So comments is something which is not executed by Java. So it is just to provide more information about what a method is doing, what a variable is doing, what a class is doing, like that we are just giving with our text to inform what a particular block is doing. This is basically helpful so that anyone who looks at the program, even you look at the program at a later point of time, you know why you have written a class or why you have written a method, what this particular method is doing. So these comments are going to help you by just reading the sentences instead of going through the program and understanding the logic. So there are three types of comments in Java. One is single line comment, multi-line comment, and documentation comment. Single line comment is like um, it's, as the name indicates, it is written in one line. So you if you prefix any line with slash slash, that means that statement will not be executed. So you can add whatever comments in that. Suppose if you want to write a paragraph of information or like 3 or 4 lines of comment, you can put it in multi-line comment. So you have to prefix with slash star and start writing your comments and close it with star slash. So anything that you have written between slash star and star slash will not be executed. Documentation comment is like similar to multi-line comment, but it is going to start with slash star star and end with star slash. So documentation comment is basically to provide comments about a class or about a method. So you can, if you write with star slash slash, that marks that comment as a documentation comment. So if there are any other tools, third-party tools outside, which is going to scan your source code, they can read the documentation comment and prepare a HTML report out of it actually. So this will be useful to, as you write programs, you can also give documentation for your programs actually, so that any third-party tool can read the documentation and prepare a documentation for you. Actually, read the documentation commands and prepare the documentation for that, for the code. That's all for this session. Let's talk about how to write a Java program in the next session. Thank you.